morning, Ms. Asim.
Morning, Chair. Morning, Commissioners. Our witness today is Lieutenant General...
May we have your colleagues place themselves on record, please?
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning.
Here, assisted by Ms. McCormick, instructed by David.
Oh, please start all over.
Again.
Please start all over.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. Estelle Killian from Johannesburg Bar, assisted by Ms. Ndiwe Makoba, instructed by Levitt Attorneys. On behalf of General Sibiya.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Ms. Asim?
Thank you, Chair. The witness is Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, and he is present and ready to be sworn in.
To swear or to affirm? General, good morning, General.
A very good morning to you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Chair.
Will you swear or will you affirm?
I will swear.
Do you swear that the evidence you're going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, so help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, General. Yes, Ms. Asim.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, you would have seen that there are quite a number of files that have been prepared for this witness.
Unfortunately, yes.
My apologies for that. But the good news is that we're not going to go through all of them today. We're going to begin with 3 files. And if I could just alert the commissioners and the witness as well as to the files that we're going to be referring to today.
Yes.
It will be file 1 of 10, which is the witness statement. It will be file 2 of 10, marked annexures.
Yes.
File 2A, which is supplementary annexures to statement, and file 3 of 10, which is marked annexures. So those are the bundles that the commissioners and the witness need to have at hand today. And the first file we will be referring to is file 1, which is the witness's statement. Good morning, General.
Good morning, Commissioners.
We have had a discussion already, and we've agreed that you will take the commission through your statement. I will afford you the opportunity to go through your statement with minimal interruption. It's a 90-page statement, so we will ask you to, summarize where possible, but we want you to provide your version with minimal interruption. So that would be the plan as you and I have agreed. And if we could begin then, and your statement is divided into sections. Can we begin with, in very brief, your introductory section and your career path that you indicated you'd like to discuss?
Our experience, General, is that if a witness does not read but attempts to do what they consider to be summarizing, they end up being much longer than if they were reading the statement. I'm not suggesting that you should read. If you are able to summarize, the summary should really be a summary. But sometimes we've just preferred that a witness should read because they cannot summarize. But starting off with summarizing may be better, but we'll see as we progress.
Good. Let's see how it goes, Chair. Some aspects of the statement can just be read in. Thank you.
May I proceed, Commissioners?
Yes.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, Commissioners, I would like to thank the Commissioners for the opportunity to come and present my side of the story. And I'll be doing so honestly. Commissioners, how my statement has been drafted is that I will start with my career path, because to me this is what is important for the commissioners and the country at large to know where I come from. And then from there, I will be talking about the labor disputes and investigations encountered that led to my dismissal from the Hawks initially, and my arrest for the alleged involvement in the rendition matter and alleged fraudulent travel claims and allegations of high treason and espionage against me, and public protector investigation that was conducted in the city of Joburg, and my suspension from SAPS following the disbandment of the PKTT. Now, for now, without any waste of time, I just want to shoot straight to my CV. I am currently employed by the South African Police Service, and I'm appointed as the Deputy National Commissioner, and I'm responsible for crime detection. Commissioners, I joined the South African Police Service on the 1st of June. In 1988, actually, I started as a student. In fact, I started as a official court interpreter in Rustenburg. And then I then applied to be a policeman whilst I was in court. Then I continued as a court orderly in court whilst I'm in the police. And then on the 1st of January 1989, I then went straight to college of the South African Police, where I passed out from the passing out parade on the 28th of June 1989. I grew up the ranks up until I was appointed as a commissioned officer, a captain at Interpol. I was appointed as a desk officer responsible for internationally missing and wanted persons. I also later resigned from the South African Police Service because I was appointed as a regional manager for security and investigation at Telkom. It was a senior position that let me go there. And then I started at the Western Cape region. And with my experience, with the work that I was doing there, I was then further sent to Bloemfontein so that I could also implement the same that was implemented in Cape Town. Then later, because Gauteng is the most problematic province of all the provinces in the country, I was then sent to Gauteng, where I pushed in Gauteng. Then in 2001, I joined the Directorate of Special Operations, the Scorpions, as a senior special investigator, and I was later placed at head office as a custodian of project in the DSO, especially responsible for the Eastern Cape. In 2004, April, I, together with Advocate Lebo Mdalane, I think she's now Masilela, who is now a judge. Advocate Maisela. We were sent to Bloemfontein to go and start a new office of the Scorpions. There was no Scorpions in Bloemfontein and Northern Cape, and together, me and her, we were sent there in a car to go and start a new office of the Scorpions, which we did. And then I was later in 2005 appointed as the chief special investigator there, and at the level of today in the police they call it a brigadier, but at that level it was a chief special investigator on the side of the Scorpions. I have been involved in various investigations and the management of serious and complex financial investigations and serious corruption and serious organized crime. That is what we were doing at the Scorpions. These include forensic investigations in a variety of industries, which include the public sector, municipalities, parastatals, telecommunications, financial service, retail, mining, manufacturing, automobile, cross-border operations. All what I've mentioned, I've operated in that space. When the Eastern Cape province was hit by a spate of fraudulent and corrupt activities, that affected service delivery in the Eastern Cape province, the former President Thabo Mbeki instructed the National Department of Public Works and Administration to intervene. And I was one of the people who were sent there to actually lead the operations in the Eastern Cape. A multidisciplinary law enforcement team was established to investigate and prosecute cases of fraud and corruption within the public service The Joint Anti-Corruption Task Team consisted of investigators from the National Intelligence, the then Scorpions, the National Prosecuting Authorities, SIU, Auditor General of South Africa, and SIRA. That was the multidisciplinary task team that was operating in the Eastern Cape, and I was part of the leaders there because I was the one managing investigations and operations. One of the highlights of my career is when I was invited to speak at the OECD Global Anti-Corruption and Integrity Forum career in Paris, in France. On the 27th of March 2018, I featured alongside the dignitaries such as Mr. Robert Poeti, a Minister of Integrity in Public Procurement and Information Resources in Quebec, Canada, and Gustavo Ferrari, Minister of Justice for the province of Buenos Aires in Argentina. Subsequent to the disbandment of the Scorpions...
Sorry, General, and I'm very sorry to interrupt. I appreciate that you want to dwell on your CV and you want to explain this. It's important to you. But I have noted that your CV is 18 pages long. You're on page 2. And if you were to continue at this pace throughout the rest of it, it might take some time. I wondered, and I don't want to stop you from explaining your background, but could you, instead of reading it in, just tell us what the highlights are?
Commissioners, I thought, together with the evidence leader, we agreed that my CV, where I come from, is important to me and to my career, and for the commissioners to know where I come from, and for the people of South Africa to know who is sitting here accounting in front of them. So to me, my CV, as I said earlier, even in the meeting, that my CV is very much crucial to explain where I come from. Now, the story that I was telling, commissioners, if you can see, is just one more page. The rest is just your relevant experience, your qualifications that are not really a story like the way it is. Some are courses, so I think the Commissioner can just pay me.
May I come in then, General? If, as you say, you have one more page,
Yes.
then we will allow you to continue. I'm sure you saw us whispering maybe about 3 minutes or so ago. We too were concerned about the detail into which you are going on the content of your CV.
Noted, sir.
Yes, because I went through the summary in your statement, and I thought that does somewhat give one an idea of who you are and what your experience is. That much detail is taking up a lot of time. But if, as you say, it's just one more page, you may go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chair. I will skip some of the paragraphs or maybe some of the... But
Thanks, General.
I want to say that subsequent to the disbandment of the Scorpions in 2009, I was sent to head office of the newly Directorate Priority Crime Investigation Unit. And I was assigned to deal mostly with serious and violent crimes such as cash in transit and ATM bombings and bank robberies and truck hijacking. To an extent that I established a team called the Tactical Operations Management Section, which was later turned into a unit in the structure of the DPCI as we speak. That was the structure that I started as a task team, and then it operated throughout the country and later turned into a unit. It is at this point in time when we formed the Tactical Operation Management Team that I just spoke about. In 2010, I was appointed as the provincial head of the DPCI in Gauteng, as the Deputy Provincial Commissioner, and appointed as a Major General at that point in time. On the 8th of November 2016, I was employed by the city of Joburg, and then to establish the anti-corruption crime fighting department known as the Group Forensic Investigation Service. On the 1st of July 2022, I was then reinstated by the Labour Court because as I was working for the city of Joburg, this after I was dismissed from the South African Police Service illegally so, and then the Labour Appeal Court reappointed me or reinstated me. And then during this tenure, I managed to resuscitate the National Organized Crime Secretariat, and then, so currently I'm appointed as a Deputy National Commissioner. Otherwise, following is just my relevant experience of official court being a court. This is what I've been talking about, how I came, all the positions that I occupied, and then academic qualifications, commissioners. I've got a national diploma in police administration that I obtained in 1996, and then I've got a BTech in policing that I obtained in 2008, and then I registered for masters, and I abandoned the studies in between the storm that I went through, and then I could not really handle different issues all at the same time. I ended up not proceeding with it. Now, this past year, my record is there. I do have matric that I completed in 1986.
Sorry, General, just to clarify, you have a master's in criminal justice?
No, I said I don't have a master's in criminal. I said current
studies. It's just
studies.
listed under academic qualifications. So
I said current studies.
Okay.
I don't say I have. I say I current studies is what I registered for, and the record is there as well.
No, that's fine. I'm just clarifying because on the CV it says academic qualifications, masters in criminal justice.
No, I think that's why we supplement.
That's fine. You've clarified. Thank you.
And then when you look at tertiary education, you say National Diploma Police Administration, a technical SA, and BTech in policing as you go down. Now the courses that I have, I've got a riot and crowd control course, which all the police officials, mainly that went to college, have to undergo. But of importance is the investigation course. That all the people that are accusing me, all of them, and that are investigating me, they don't have investigation course. All of them. Anybody who's been here to talk about me, they don't have this course. They've never been trained as detectives, and they are not detectives. Sergeant course, okay, all the SWAT course, organization and work study. I think the list is long. I've done money laundering course. I've been with the Scorpions and the NPA. I work for the NPA as well. I'm trained as I investigate corruption, money laundering, organized crime, all those courses. Operations management course for senior managers. I've done all those courses. Work experience, I will skip, Chair, in terms of the job function, but in short, let me say my CV, this is what I've said. The rest is exactly those job functions in terms of those positions that I've occupied. And as we speak now, I'm appointed as the Deputy National Commissioner. I'm responsible for crime detection. And as a Deputy National Commissioner, I signed a performance contract with the National Commissioner. And my job as a Deputy National Commissioner, firstly, I want to talk about the Deputy National Commissioner post, the responsibilities. And just to give a background of it, I do have a document here that says the background to the establishment of the post of Deputy National Commissioner. The Minister of Safety and Security, Mr. Sidney Mufamadi, determined the first scheme of the rationalization, reorganization, and consolidation of the South African Police Service. So the first Deputy National Commissioner were appointed by the National Commissioner with the approval of the Minister and the President. These posts were established to enable the National Commissioner to discharge his responsibilities, exercise his powers, and perform his functions and duties effectively. Now, the mandate of a Deputy National Commissioner, the responsibilities, powers, functions, and duties of the National Commissioners are related to one of another, and related to the same environment were grouped together in different groups in terms of the scheme. A Deputy National Commissioner was appointed in respect of each environment to discharge the responsibilities, exercise the powers, and perform the functions and duties of the National Commissioner on behalf of the National Commissioner in respect of the specific environment for which he or she was appointed, in accordance with the national policing policy determined by the Minister of Police and subject to any directions issued by the Minister of Police and subject to the command and control of the National Commissioner. Now, this binds even all the provincial commissioners, whatever that you do as a Deputy National Commissioner, it binds also the provincial commissioners for as long as you are in agreement with the National Commissioner and led by the National Commissioner. Now,
Sorry, General, before you proceed, let me check something. Ms. Hassim, I think General now said, I have a document in front of me, and I think that's what he was reading from. Do we have that in the files? Or is
We don't have that
Is it going to be
document.
handed in? What is its position?
Is that a document you wish to hand in to the Commission, General?
yes, that's correct.
Do you have copies for the Commission? Because I wasn't alerted to this document.
It will be in the bundle somewhere, but here is the copy that I want the commissioners to have, because it is very much crucial, because some of the responsibilities that we do, they do because we have a mandate to do them.
Or just a minute, General. Ms. Killian, the General thinks that the document possibly may be within one of the files. Do you know if it is?
As far as my knowledge is concerned, it is not in the supplementary, but we have provided a supplementary. We can correct that overnight.
Or you may, meaning you will add it into the supplementary. All right. And what's the last number or identifier that we have in the supplementary? Do we readily have that so that we may mark it right away?
It's SS 49.
49,
Yes.
yes. So this will be SS 50.
50.
Thank you.
Chair, I have been provided with a copy of the document, but I think it's best.
We may be given
I think
copies
so.
at a later stage.
Thank you.
Thank you. I stopped you. It wasn't quite mid-sentence, but you were in the middle of something. General, do you wish to continue?
What I want to just maybe ask a guidance on, Chair. In fact, maybe it will be safe if I go through the statement, because if I don't go through the statement, I wanted to go to my responsibilities and the performance contract that I signed with the National Commissioner. Now, on the other hand, you may find that I'm going here just to be able to say these are my functions, but maybe perhaps it is very much important to read my statement and focus on it.
I think it's better that way.
Yeah, so that what...
For instance, when you deal with the quote-unquote points of contention later, you actually go into some detail as to what some of your functions are and so on and so on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it will be too much to go into the actual performance contract.
Thank you, Chair.
Please tell us where you're...
Are you going to your statement now, General?
I think I'm
Okay.
focusing now on my statement, and then I've spoken about my career path, which is now on page 4. I'm gonna leave my run through, and then I wanna go straight to the labor dispute and investigation encountered dismissals by the Hawks in August 2015.
Before you begin that section, could you just explain to the Commission the relevance of this section? Why is it you felt it important to bring this to the attention of the Commission? What's the relevance for this Commission's mandate?
Commissioner and Chair, In one of the interviews by Lieutenant General Mukwanaz, he said General Sibiya was fired by the police. And the same police, when he came back, they received him well, and then within a year they promoted him. I don't know what special thing he has done that led to him being promoted. So, and that is what led to me putting this paragraph together, considering the fact that when he speaks, he talks about, and he will say, most of you South Africans have forgotten that in 2011, now the 2011 that he's speaking about, I was approached by by General Lebeya, who was the former head of the Hawks. At that time, he was a deputy of General Dramat, the deputy national head of the Hawks. I was a provincial head in Gauteng. He came to me in possession of a newspaper article and a file and say, General Ndluli,
Ms. Hazim, I think we are taking up a lot of time. Don't you think the General should just go on with this section?
Chair, that's fine.
Yes.
It's not clear to me the relevance yet, but maybe if you could just read the section into the record.
Let's just go on with the section, General. I'm not being critical of the content of what you are saying, but I think we'll save a lot more time if we just get on with it.
This section that I'm talking about my dismissal, is the same story that I'm explaining. In other words, I'm in my statement.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
I was allocated a matter to investigate that involved the then head of the Divisional Commissioner of Intelligence, wherein there were allegations that he's involved in murder or kidnapping and fraudulent activities, corruption within the crime intelligence. Now, I was then approached by head office to conduct an investigation that I investigated. I formed a multidisciplinary team. I approached the NPA and they supported me with the investigators, with prosecutors, and we investigated. And then as we were investigating, we experienced a situation where we were all targeted and ultimately removed from the police. It was myself, General Lebeya, General Dramat, even also General Kele was a commissioner of the police at that time. We all found ourselves outside because of that investigation. And we all went to different courts. We came back at our own time, depending on when the labor court finalized your matter. In my case, I was not involved in the rendition completely because it was a head office operation. The people that were arrested of the Zimbabwean who killed a Zimbabwean, a police officer in Zim and then ran into South Africa, they were arrested by crime intelligence. All of them, we can account for each and every suspect that was arrested by crime intelligence at head office. They arrested all those people, and crime intelligence officials were given letter of commendations by their bosses for the job well done. But I was then later implicated to be the one who have given an instruction to arrest those people. So why it is important to mention this story is that what I went through at that time of the illegal rendition, ultimately finding myself out, commissioners, it was a shock in my life because it was the very first time I got suspended, very first time I dismissed for something I was not involved. And I also submitted a statement to the Zondo Commission at that time. Witnesses lied. The judges in the cases, they say, but it was all lies. And General Ntlemeza, who fired me, was actually found by the court to have been an unreliable person who lacked honor and integrity and was ultimately also removed and fired and his rank taken as a result of that. Now, I got back to the police because the court reinstated me. And then I started working. And I was, because of the fact that already a person was now appointed at Gauteng, there was now a general cadre was now appointed in Gauteng. I just said to the police, to the National Commissioner, I don't mind to be placed anywhere. And then they said, okay, head office, organized crime component head of organized crime. I went there. I started pushing from organized crime side as a component head. I resuscitated the National Organized Crime Secretariat that deals with projects, wherein I said, we've got a lot of crime in the country. We've got organized crime, we've got commercial crime, we've got corruption in the municipalities. All I want you to do, I want to have a project in each and every sector that needs to be investigated. And I increased the project. When I came back, there were something like 27 projects to 74 projects, because every province, we call them every month to make sure that we have projects that are being registered in the respective environment that needs to be attended to. Be it drugs, drug cartel, taxi violence, whoever is involved, whether you're talking about all the environment where there is crime committed, especially that needs to be investigated in an organized fashion. We needed to open such projects. We did that. Then,
did these projects not already fall under some existing categories? I'm just trying to understand the need for increasing the number of projects.
The South African Police Service, is this how it functions, Commissioner, Chair? Is that the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation is meant to investigate serious organized crime, serious corruption, serious commercial crime, crimes against the state and others. Now, they've got a particular threshold where they will say we can only take from this threshold, let's say 500,000 upwards. But you've got a lot of corruption, you've got a lot of crime that is committed that actually falls within their mandate, but because it is of a lower scale, it must have organized crime also in the South African police that will look into that level 1 to 3, DPCI level 3 to 5, where they focus on now on other layers, including international layers. Now that's the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation. So from our side, we had to look into that. Where there is crime, where there's commercial crime, where you have illegal goods coming into the country, those were our responsibilities. But over and above, even though the DPCI is the one that must investigate according to their mandate, the National Commissioner is still responsible and accountable for crime in general throughout the country. He then will say, for an example, let me give an example of the cash in transit. The National Commissioner says there's so many cash in transit that are taking place in the country, and I have to account as the National Commissioner. And if we only focus on the DPCI and say they are the one who are doing it, and then we are all affected, then he will call a meeting where all of us sit together with the DPCI and us working together. So that's how we will get involved interchangeably in some of the project, Chairperson.
All right, please continue.
Yes. So now, I was then back into the system, and I pushed from my side in terms of my responsibilities. Then in 2023, the 1st of July, I was then promoted to the rank of Lieutenant General by the National Commissioner. My responsibilities now was to oversee the operations and the work of both crime detection. I have two divisional commissioners reporting to me, which is Lieutenant General Kumalo of Crime Intelligence and also Lieutenant General Sintumule of Detective and Forensics.
General, just to be clear, you have now moved off the section on labor disputes. Because I hear you talking about your current, for 2023 onwards. So have we moved on then from the section on labor disputes? Because I'm not sure what you're speaking to.
Maybe perhaps what I need to do is to go through my statement line by line so that I don't do mistakes.
That would be great. Thanks.
Yes, thanks.
And I think you've dealt with the rendition issue already in your explanation to the Commission. So perhaps you can start at paragraph 38.
Paragraph 38.
It's under the heading alleged fraudulent travel claims.
Ms. Asim, General, you were starting on what I think is in paragraph 16. Maybe just complete that, even if it means reading that paragraph into the record.
Paragraph 16.
Yeah, 16.
In July 2023, I was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant General and appointed as a Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection. In this capacity, I assumed overall command of Detective and Forensic Science Laboratories and Crime Intelligence. My appointment to this position placed me at the forefront of shaping and directing the operational framework for crime detection in the Republic, ensuring the alignment of policing strategies and national priorities and international best practice. It also underscored the continued confidence of the SAPS in my leadership and my ability to drive systemic improvement in the fight against crime. I attach here to a copy of my curriculum vitae and marked SS1 for ease of reference. We've dealt with my curriculum vitae.
Yes, thank you.
The labor dispute I've dealt with. Although here I've mentioned pertinent issues that I would want to, I've mentioned, although I've run through the arrest and the illegal rendition, but there were some important comments that were made by the judges in my matter to show that I was not involved and I was unfairly dismissed and targeted, and there was political interference. And when I talk about political interference, later I will mention where there is still political interference in what I'm going through now. And at that point in time, I need to also make sure that if I don't get that point, I hope the evidence leader will be of assistance there. Paragraph 38. Alleged fraudulent claims. What I want to highlight specifically in relation to the alleged fraudulent claims, as the crime intelligence were attempting very hard to get me out of the system, they realized that the illegal rendition matter is not working because I was not involved, and they could see that even the courts were clearing me. At the same time, I went through the same process I'm going through now. They then introduced the illegal rendition of the fraudulent. They charged me for fraudulent kilometer claims. Now, the fraudulent kilometer claims that I was charged for, to give a short background, is that I had a car that I bought after I was promoted as a brigadier. And with the excitement, I went and I bought a BMW 330. It was a small car. But one day, a policeman was killed in Tembisa. And as the head of the Hawks, I had to attend the scene of crime. But that car was giving me challenges because the policeman was killed and left his body dumped on top of the mountain. So I could not go up there or deeper with the car because it was a very small car and it was struggling. Coming from that scene, I went straight to BMW where I bought the car and said, hey, where I work now, I'm expected to visit some of these things, and this thing is not really helping me. Then there was a Porsche Cayenne parked outside. It's a second-hand car, very old. Then The owner said to me, don't you want to test drive this car and maybe check how it is, if you like it? It was within the price range because it has 74,000 kilometers. So the car that I bought, it was more than that. Then he said, maybe test drive this Porsche Cayenne, you may like it. Well, it was the first time getting into a Porsche Cayenne. And then I test drove that car that day. As I was on the freeway and I was testing it, I enjoyed it. The next day I said, I'm taking this car. Then I was driving that Porsche, and it was beautiful, I liked it. Come the time when it had to go for service, because it was beyond 100, I said, no, it's still within the motor plan. I took it to Porsche, they fixed it, and it needed more than 30,000 rand. I said, yes, but it's within a motor plan, it doesn't complete at 100,000. They said, no. Porsche is not how it works. The motor plan doesn't go with the car, it goes with the owner. This car you bought, it's yours. You have to find a way of paying. I then went to BMW and said, but you didn't tell me that because this thing doesn't reach 100, I don't even get the motor plan. Now they say I must pay this thing, but you didn't tell me. And then he tried to speak to them, and the Porsche didn't agree. He then said to me, you know what? This Porsche is an expensive car. It's still going to give you challenges maybe here and there. Rather leave this thing. Go down there in the basement, look at the bigger cars, X5, X6, whatever that you may like to the price range. Then I went down and I looked and I chose one X6 within the price. It also had more than 80,000 kilometers. When a car is at that level, it's affordable. I chose that X6. Now, as I was driving this car, both cars, as I was just driving it and then from there change to X6. Now they see different kilometer claims that I'm submitting. One moment is Porsche, one moment is this. Then they charged me for fraudulent kilometer claim. They said, I said I was driving a Porsche, but I was driving an X6. And then they charged me for that. Then the magistrate asked a question and said, all right, you say you're charging this man for driving an X6, but he claimed for the X6 instead of for the Porsche Cayenne. Then he said, okay, which one has got a bigger engine capacity? Only to find out that the Porsche Cayenne was a 5-liter. And then the X6 was a lower, it was a 3.5 liter. Then the magistrate said, so you're charging him for shooting himself on the foot that he claimed lesser than what he was supposed to claim. Then they couldn't answer. Then the magistrate asked the prosecutor and say, why did you charge this man? The prosecutor says, into the court record, that record is still there. He says, I know there's no case and there was no case, but I was instructed to put the matter in the court roll. Now that's how the magistrate said, you are released. Then that's how I was acquitted in that case. That's the fraudulent kilometer claim issue. So it's one of those cases. Now I have to go to allegations of high treason.
Before that, General, I think under this topic, there's information that I think is important to put on record for completeness of what you are explaining. At paragraph 39, you speak about this from paragraph 38 up to 41. In paragraph 39, you do state that these charges that were finally brought against you were a product of a complaint or allegations by somebody. Maybe you need to put that on record. Paragraph 39?
Despite this, a criminal docket for fraud and corruption was later opened against me in March 2015 based on allegations made by Mr. Imran Bhatt, an individual implicated in organized crime and human trafficking, whom I have previously investigated while serving as head office of the Hawks in Gauteng.
So this person, Imran Bhatt, is a civilian? or is a member of the police?
It's a Pakistani national who's involved in human trafficking.
Okay, but not a police officer?
It's not a police officer.
Okay, and then in paragraph 40, you say what period these allegations or this story about fraudulent travel claims relate to. Maybe you should put that on record, what period we are talking about. You do say in the first line.
I said, additionally, in February 2016,
Yes.
I was arrested and charged with 5 counts of fraud. The charges were premised on the above fraud and corruption docket, as well as claims that I had corruptly acquired a BMW and had submitted fraudulent travel and petrol claims.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Unless you think the rest of it is important, you want to put it on record, but I just wanted the date to be on record.
Yes, and it also reminded me of the fact that they were actually alleging that this car was actually bought for me by a person who was supposed to have been charged for poaching. They said the money was paid by someone for me to buy this car. They then went, crime intelligence went to BMW. I've got a whole file where they went and obtained statement to check how I procured or how I purchased the car. They found that from day one, I applied for finance. I paid the car, no deposit was ever paid, no any other money paid into the bank or BMW. I've been paying for this car until I changed it. So that is one of the key things that I wanted to mention. The same applies to what I'm going through is just history repeating itself, because I'll be taking the commissioners through and say, as I'm taking to you, as they say, they will talk about the 2 million here. Let's look at all the bonds that I have, and you tell me where this 2 million paid where. So I just want to go step by step.
No, General, I know that I interrupted you. You were moving to discuss high treason and espionage allegations against you. I just wanted clarification on those 2 issues. You may proceed.
During December 2016, the former Gauteng of the Hawks, Major General Prince Mukotedi, made a statement under oath in which he alleged that I, together with several other individuals, was implicated in offenses of high treason and espionage. These allegations were purported based on a so-called top-secret intelligence report, which he claimed to have received around April 2016. The report allegedly implicated me, Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, Mr. Robert McBride, Ms. Candice Coutier, and other unidentified persons said to be associated with AfriForum and the Democratic Alliance. The intelligence report concerned was highly questionable. Now, according to General Mukotedi, a meeting allegedly took place on the 3rd of December 2016 at a property previously owned by a convicted criminal, during which it was purported discussed that certain senior officials and individuals supportive of the former President Jacob Zuma would be targeted through false criminal investigations and a coordinated media campaign designed to discredit them. It was further alleged that pressure would be placed on politicians to remove certain senior officials from office. That damaging information concerning President Zuma's son would be used to mobilize public pressure, and that these actions would culminate in an Arab Spring type uprising intended to destabilize the country and force the resignation of President Zuma. On this basis, General Mukotedi concluded that these alleged plans constituted high treason and espionage. Now, I just want to say, and I was labeled to be a member of the Gestapo gang at that time, because it was somewhere in the statement that I'm a Gestapo gang member, and we are involved in treason and so those were the small charges that were brought in. At this present moment, same modus operandi, I'm a Big Five or member of the Big Five. I just want to remind the commissioners constantly that I went through this from intelligence, These allegations, this modus operandi, same allegations, same way. So I'll read, I'll continue. To substantiate this, is paragraph 44.
Paragraph 44, yes.
To substantiate these claims, General Mukotedi relied on the same purported intelligence report to allege, among other things, that plans existed to assassinate senior police officials, including General Ndlemeza, using foreign nationals who would then flee the country. These allegations were said to have resulted in security threat assessment and the provisions of VIP protection to certain individuals. It was also alleged that President Zuma and his son were deliberately included as targets in order to secure political backing for the arrest and prosecution of myself and others on charges of including high treason. The allegations contained in General Mukotedi's statement were demonstrably false, inherently implausible. The intelligence report upon which he relied was unsigned, lacked any indication that it was authorized or approved by the management of crime intelligence, and did not bear the hallmarks of an authentic intelligence project. If it did emanate from crime intelligence, it could only have been generated for improper and ulterior purposes, as none of allegations contained therein were true or supported by any evidence. Portions of the report further contained patently absurd claims, including allegations of widespread corruption and abuse of statutory powers and organized criminal conduct by senior officials, and none of which were ever substantiated. Paragraph 47, in total, more than 20 criminal cases were opened against me by a task team established under General Ndlemeza and Crime Intelligence, forming part of unsubstantiated and focused campaign to have me arrested, removed from office, and publicly discredited. As a consequence of these actions, senior managers within the SAPS and members of the public were led to believe that I was involved in serious criminality, including corruption, organized crime, and drug dealing. These allegations have caused profound and lasting harm to my reputation, integrity, and career, notwithstanding the complete lack of factual foundation. Regrettably, the pattern that characterized those events continues to manifest itself with similar unfounded attacks against being directed at me. Now, Chair, exactly what I read. We must take everything that I read here. And if you were to put a table and divide it into two, these allegations make the modus operandi the same way. And you put it on the same, on the left, on the right-hand side, it's the same thing. Who marched against me? Or I want to put it this way, my advocate wanted me several times to say, stop asking questions, you answer, not ask. What happened is that when there was this thing, when crime intelligence heads were arrested, divisional commissioner, and then information was heard, and there was a newspaper article that says the national commissioner was going to be arrested the following week. Then comes the press conference, but of importance that I want to mention, there was a march that was planned in KZN. There was a march that was planned in KZN by MK Party.
Sorry, General, you said divisional commissioner, you did not mention the section. Divisional commissioner for what?
Crime Intelligence, Lieutenant General Kumalo.
Thank you.
And 6 others, his colleagues, they were arrested. And I didn't even know for the reasons why they were arrested. Even now, I do know it was mostly mentioned about the employment of a brigadier, but apparently there are many other charges as the reports of the IGI. But What concerns me the most, Chair, is the fact that there was a march that was planned in KZN by MK Party. And MK Party, they were saying the march is about the fight in general, the fight against crime in general, and also crime against women, GB violence, and then also in support of General Mkhwanazi. Then the National Commissioner, General Masemola, calls me and he sends me to KZ and he says to me, I want you to go and receive the memorandum there. He calls me to his office. I said, okay, I will go, because he's a National Commissioner and I'm a Deputy National Commissioner. I can't say no. He relies on us. I said, I will go. But he knew and understand the relationship that I have with General Mkhwanazi, that the relationship is not well at all. But he sends me there to KZN to go and receive the memorandum. So now, I then said, okay, let me organize protection for myself. I asked for 4 members of Special Task Force and NIU, and I said I will live here with them to the airport. I was expected to be on stage at 10 o'clock. I will leave with there in the morning. I'm not going to sleep there. I'll leave here in the morning. And then when we get there, we'll be waiting somewhere at the hotel. And then from there, just 1 minute to 10, I will be on stage. And then I'll receive the memorandum. And then I'll just tell them that the memorandum is well received and that I will pass it to the seniors. Thank you very much, and leave. Then the spokesperson came and said, National Commissioner, but why this drama? Why do you send General Sibiya there when you know that General Sibiya's relationship with General Mkhwanazi is not so well? And then because now you're creating an unnecessary drama, and the National Commissioner listened to the spokesperson. He then said, no, it's okay, you don't have to go. Then the march was cancelled. But it was MK Party that was marching there. Now,
General, when was this?
It was sometimes last year. Just that march is there, there's a record, I'll get the date. I've got paperwork in my...
It was after the press conference of July 6th.
I think so. It was after the press conference.
Okay.
Now, I just don't want to lose my trail of thought, because if I begin to think of the date, I'll provide paperwork, I have it. The National Commissioners, then the march was cancelled. Now, as the march was cancelled, MK Party is the one now that goes and open a criminal case against me and the minister for defeating the ends of justice in relation to 121 dockets. I'll still get to the 121 dockets issue for attempting to defeat or for defeating the ends of justice. MK Party. Then from there, I had to go and account before the MK Party in Parliament. Then I raised a concern and say, but Mr. Chair, I'm sitting here having to come and account to the nation, but the MK Party opened a case against me, and I have to face them and let them ask me questions. Fine.
Are you talking about the ad hoc committee?
Ad hoc committee.
Okay.
And
that committee is made up of multiple parties, not just the MK Party.
I know, but I raised that concern only specifically in relation to the MK, because there was a Honorable Skwasana there, who is the one who went and opened the case against me. I said, but do I have to stand before him now and account before him? Because all I was being asked was humiliating questions. I was being humiliated publicly, undermined throughout, even after I testified. Every witness that came, you listen to the MK Party, how they are humiliating me, how they are speaking down upon me. Not only them though, but even when a question doesn't need Sibiya, they will say, you're speaking like Sibiya, or there was one general here who came here, he said 1, 2, 3, 4. Even it's a different witness, but I was the one that is being attacked the most. Now, I was just raising this point of the MK Party issue now. Now, MK opened a case against me. The same MK statement is being used by a Brigadier Kunena to apply for a search warrant when my house was raided. The same MK is the one that also came and marched against me at head office. As I'm sitting in the office, you hear people toying in the street, it's MK party. And then you get TikTok messages that say, you touch Mkwanazi, you touch us, you'll see another July unrest you've never had. There were such messages that will come. Now, here I'm sitting with a situation where I'm being tackled politically as well. As much as there are allegations on the 121 dockers, but there's so much pressure mounting on me, being pushed out of office when I've done nothing wrong. So now, let me pause so that I don't go deeper, but I want to say, Chair, let me put this once and for all at rest. Who fired me when we were all removed? It was Minister Nhleko, who is now the MK party. I don't know his rank there, his level there. It was the President Zuma who was there. Now, all of a sudden you also get the leg that comes from city of Joburg. General Mkwanazi was advised to go to the city of Joburg and also go collect some information on me. Who is the chief whip in MK party? Miss Colin Makubele, who was the speaker in parliament, in city of Joburg. Now, General Mkwanazi goes there, speak to a gentleman whom we investigated in different cases, and they then caused this member to make a statement. I don't want to say a derogatory statement, but it was a statement where you see this man is clearly undermining you and speaking ill of me in all respect, belittling me the possible way he can. Now, he says that I'm here to support General Mkwanazi. He came to see me. And he also acknowledged that I have got a personal relationship with Miss Colin Makubele in MK party. Now, to me, this whole thing is political still. Let me proceed. I just wanted to put that part.
Thanks. You're
so that it remains.
You're at paragraph 49, the public protector investigation.
Public protector investigation.
Maybe before you do that, just so that things are not left hanging, are you going to come? Maybe let me ask first this question. You've described what you say is the role of the MK party. Is that what you were referring to much earlier in your statement when you spoke about continuing political interference?
Yes.
Or are you still going to be saying more? That's what you were referring to?
Yes.
Okay. And yes, Kira?
Thank you very much. Because this is what I'm going through, and then now, I don't know whether to bring this point at this point in time or at a much later stage, but what worries me is that, you see, when you look at all the provincial commissioners, no one you will see on social media. No one is being spoken about on social media. They don't have followers because they were not allowed to be on social media as policemen. But you've got this one provincial commissioner who's on social media every day. Now, you've got political parties fighting to have him. He's supported by MK. Then you also have, I spoke to one MMC who was asking me what is going on. Allow me not to mention the name, Chair. He was asking me what is going on in this thing. We want to understand this thing. And I said, I explained, and I said, you know what, the problem is that even though we see what is happening, the problem is that in case that then when you get heard speaking against Mkwanazi, General Mkwanazi, then you see people beginning to have some cliques and distancing themselves from the party. Now, we've got now this person who's got social media following, a lot of them. I'm told that there are many thousand accounts on social media. Now, you've got...
Does General Mkhwanazi have his own accounts, social media accounts, or does he have a presence on social media through posts by other people?
Commissioner,
because if it's the latter, you cannot expect him to have control over that.
Commissioner, I must say, directly or indirectly, there's no way he's not involved. For simple reasons.
No, can you answer, does he have his own social media accounts? Yes or no?
I don't know about that, Commissioner.
So I'm not sure that it's fair then to make the point that you appear to be trying to make. Because he has no control over what other people post about him.
May I respond, Commissioner?
Yes, please.
Commissioner, I'm responding to you, not in argument, but I want to ask the Commissioner to please bear with me. Let me put my point, and I do know, Commissioner, that I'm putting it with respect. And where the Commissioner says to me, but I don't agree with you, I will then keep quiet. Commissioner, if this is the case that he does not have control over what people say about him.
I don't know. I'm just asking. Yeah.
Yes, I'm responding to Commissioner.
Yes.
It cannot be that it is only about General Mkhwanazi, not any other provincial commissioners, because many commissioners, if you ask them who's the provincial commissioner of Northern Cape, people won't know. But what I want to say is that all the pictures, all the photos, whether it's camouflage, whether in everything that is happening on a daily basis about General Mkhwanazi is on social media. And then when you say something here, when I sit here and say something, whether it was on radio or on TV or an interview, whatever, the many attacks that I get, it's a lot coming from the same direction. And then the excuse that says, I'm not on social media and I'm not the one and I'm not responsible, I don't agree with that notion. But I can leave it there, Commissioner. This is where I will leave it. But what I want to say is that social media has been...
Sorry, just before you go on, I just want to clarify this, because what you're saying, you are, in response to the chair's question, you're saying that you don't agree, but you're speculating that there's something more to it, that the social media posts, the numerous posts on social media that are in favor of General Mkhwanazi and against you is orchestrated somehow. But you are speculating.
No, I'm not speculating.
You have evidence.
Well, let's take yesterday. What happened yesterday? There was a Mr. Mutibedi who was talking about the involvement of the PKTT that harassed him, that planned to kill him, that searched him with a fraudulent search warrant. This whole thing is now all over social media. His explanation, everything about him gets immediate attention.
Do you want to go there? Because I saw that in the news, and my understanding is that there's either litigation or threatened litigation that relates to that. Do you want to go there?
I will stop, Commissioner.
Perhaps to go back to Ms. Hassim's question. As I understand it, what she's asking is, you've said that all these favorable social media activity in favor of General Mkhwanazi, there's something going on there. And Ms. Hassim was really asking you, do you have facts or evidence in support of what you're saying, or you're speculating that General Mkhwanazi may have something to do with it. And I haven't heard you answer that direct question.
It's just that, Chair, I know I'm not speculating. It is the case. But the simple question is, do you have the account name? Do you have the account number? Do you know this? I won't have it. I don't have it. But why I'm saying that, I have been given names to say, this person who's responsible for General Mkhwanazi's social media are the following, or is this one. I have that name, but up until I also have evidence or proof, I cannot sit here and say, here is this name, but I do have it.
I think the point lies in the last thing that you say, that you don't yet, at least, I'm happy to put in the word yet, you don't yet have proof of what you have been told by somebody, that there is this person who's in charge of that account. You don't have proof, and I think you've just said that right at the end.
Let me accept that point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe before you go further, let me ask another question, which was a clarification question. You said that earlier on, you said General Mkhwanazi was advised to go to City of Joburg to get information about me. When you say and that's where you left it, do you know for a fact, and are you able to give a name who advised him, one, and two, what was the information that he was advised to go and get about you?
Reading from the statement of, and I'm sure if commissioners will listen to Mesuli Mlandu's testimony at the ad hoc committee, he did mention where he spoke specifically about General Mkhwanazi coming to see him, and also the fact that he's got the relationship with Ms. Colleen Makubele. And to me, it's what a coincidence that now, all of a sudden, because there's also Ms. Colleen Makubele there, now the City of Joburg's some issue also is being brought into the fore.
Yeah, General, can I just stop you there? You've said that this witness from City of Joburg, in his statement, he says that General Mkhwanazi came to see him. That answers part of what I wanted I was asking for clarification on. The earlier part of it is where you say he was advised. And my question is, you know for a fact that he was advised, and by whom? If you could just answer that part.
I think when you listen to Mesuli Mlandu talking and say that General Mkhwanazi contacted me and came to see me, logically speaking, tells me that he cannot wake up one day and also then go to the City of Joburg and go and look for information about General Sibiya, and when in fact already Mesuli Mlandu said, I've got a personal relationship with Colleen Makubela, and that I'm doing this in support of General Mkhwanazi because he came to see me about it. So if maybe my answer is not sufficient, Chair, I will leave it at that as well.
No, I accept that is your answer. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Sim.
Thanks, Commissioner Baloy. I think I'll leave that there as well. If we can move on if there aren't any further questions from the bench. General Sibiya, let's get back to your statement. You were at paragraph 49.
49, the public protector investigation.
Yes.
On the 8th of March 2018, a complaint was lodged with the then public protector when I was now working at the City of Joburg, Advocate Busiswe Mkhwebane, requesting an investigation into, inter alia, whether the establishment of the Group Forensic Investigation Service and my subsequent appointment as its executive head by the City of Joburg were improper and irregular. Advocate Mkhwebane indeed investigated the allegations contained in the aforesaid complaint, and on 18 December 2020, Advocate Mkhwebane published a report number 21 of 2020-2021 titled Report on an Investigation into Allegations of Maladministration Relating to Irregular Appointment, Irregular Salary Increase, Financial Mismanagement, Procurement Irregularities, and Conflict of Interest in the city of Joburg. In the Public Protector report, Advocate Mkhwebane found that the allegations regarding the establishment of the Group Forensic Investigation Service and my subsequent appointment as its executive head by COG were not substantiated. She further held that both my appointment and the grading of my remuneration, regrading of my remuneration were in compliance with the applicable legal framework of COJ, and that on the evidence available to her, she concluded that there was no justifiable basis either in law or in the fact to impugn the process followed by COJ in appointing me and subsequently adjusting my salary. Now, I want to just add that when the Public Protector investigated, a complaint was sent to her. She doesn't herself come. Firstly, they sent a list of questions to be responded to. A list of questions to be responded to. All what they needed was provided to them. They came and they interviewed individuals in terms of anything they wanted to know. Now, later, you get to hear that because we were cleared, it was not only myself, there were a lot of other people. It was a big report that found others wanting in others. They said, no, this one is okay, it's cleared. And then we were happy that, okay, that part has been put to bed. So accordingly, Advocate Mkhwebane determined that the conduct of COJ did not amount to improper conduct or as contemplated in section 182, subsection 1A of the Constitution, nor to maladministration as envisaged in section 6, subsection 4 of the Public Protector Act. To avoid prolixity, I attach here to marked SS2 the relevant portions of the Public Protector report for ease of reference. Can I go to 53? Yes. Notwithstanding that Public Protector report exonerated both myself and COG of any wrongdoing in relation to my appointment, Al-Jama Tapelo Ahmad nevertheless persisted in publishing statements impugning the legitimacy of my appointment and alleging inter alia that I was incapable of, unfit to hold the position of head of group forensics, was politically compromised, and that my independence, impartiality, and credibility had been impeded as a result thereof. Unlawfully procured spying equipment, which I utilized to spy on councillors that were not affiliated to the DA, and in so doing that I had committed various crimes. Now, accordingly, in and around June 2022, I launched an urgent application in the Johannesburg High Court against Ahmad and Al-Jama, in terms of which I sought protection against Ahmad's ongoing and anticipated unlawful and defamatory statement and publication, some of which were issued on the eve of my urgent application. The court held that statements were made by Ahmad were not only de facto defamatory, but were patently false. Additionally, the statements were not benevolent statements made for the public's interest or the sake of their interest, but were inappropriate as well as exploitative and purely derogatory in nature. The court was of the view that I had, through my counsel, provided ample factual evidence that demonstrated the patently false nature of the statement. My application was thus granted with cause. Ahmad and Al-Jama noted an appeal against the court's decision. However, the appeal was dismissed. The effect of the dismissal in that the the original judgment stands in full force and remains binding, thereby confirming finding of defamation against me. Now, the city of Joburg is political parties. If other political parties attack the mayor for being a mayor in a political party and they use a particular approach to say he implemented this, he appointed this one illegally, this is what was happening in the city of Joburg. But safe to say that, firstly, Chair, what I want to talk about the issue of Al-Jama or the issue of the procurement of the spying equipment. It is very much important that I put it because this thing was reported to the public protector, reported to the Inspector General of Intelligence, who referred it to the SSA as it is their mandate, also investigated by the Hawks, and then also by other private companies that were investigated. SSA are the ones who's got the mandate, and they even wrote a letter that says we are the ones who will be able to tell you whether this is a spying equipment or not. They went through that. They came to the office, Hawks, public protector. They also came SSA. They went through the equipment, and they went through the war room that we built. Now, allow me, Chair, to just give you why we had to procure such. I'm a trained investigator and a well-experienced investigator in the field of investigation. Where I grew up in the investigation company, we had the Scorpions, they had what we call the Crime Information Collection Unit. We, at the DPCI, as we speak, they've got what we call the PCMC, Priority Crime Investigation Management Section, where you've got your analysts, where each and every docket that is being opened is also analyzed so that you can see whether you can connect this person, modus operandi, or... Now, in the city of Joburg, the city's got something like, I don't know, I can't remember whether it's 13 entities, but also departments, but another one is 20 or another one is 13. But what is important is that there's so much crime committed in the cities, different cities. There's so much corruption. There's so much theft committed in every space. In other instances, you find that at revenue services, where people pay electricity, you find that you've got people that are touters. You find many people roaming around there. When you come to pay, they will say to you, the queue is long. Let us see how best we can assist you. Let us do this, and then we can get your account also maybe a discount. They work with certain individuals inside. Now, you need to know if you are group forensics. To start with, I'm the one who established Group Forensics and Investigation Service. It was for that reason that I was employed as well, and say we want to establish this crime fighting machinery, and I am the one who established it. Now, I say we are here working for the city, and we say we are a world-class city. I need to know, we've got hijacked properties in the city of Joburg. Do we know, as the city of Joburg, how many buildings are hijacked? Who are their owners? I need a system that will capture that part. Now, do we know which department in the city or entity where the city is losing more money and why? We need the entities and to see how they're losing money and what crimes are being committed in different environments. Now, we also have situations where each and every now and then you get a call that says, I suspect my office is bugged. I need someone to come and sweep this office. Now, all right, to do that, state security cannot be every day in the city of Joburg and various other municipalities. Now, what the state security did, they trained each and every department of government, even in the municipalities, they will train what we call a security manager, who has done information information management, MIS document, a minimum information security standard document that you will implement. Whether you're talking about document security, about information security, physical security, all those things. Now, in my case, I say, all right, Now we've got a lot of theft of laptops, theft of city assets. Now, I said, let's go and do a benchmarking. We went to the Hawks, we went to the banks, we went to Protea Coin, we went to, but we went to 5 different departments to see how best can we have a war room with screens. You've got one car that pours petrol 5 times in a day. Where does the petrol go? You've got one car
General,
that every second...
Sorry to do this. You're giving a lot of examples to explain the picture, but I think you need to now get to the point of what you're trying to say.
Chair, in all fairness, this is a burning issue at the city of Joburg. And every now and then I'm being accused of having procured the spying equipment. And I'm trying to give a background of all the things that led to me. I want the chair, and I want the public, and I want the city to know that it was not spying equipment. It was equipment that should monitor what is happening, all the crimes that is committed in the city of Joburg. It was the equipment that says, if you have this case and this case, it's garbage in, garbage out. Once you put information in this computer, it must tell you that this case relates to that case and that case and that case. Or once you put this name here, this person is involved in that crime and that crime and that crime, and in this department, this car is the one that is pouring petrol 10 times in a day or what. Now, even other cities were benchmarking from the city of Joburg, because we were trying to make sure that we fight crime in totality. And as I was giving you about the backing of the offices and everything, is that the city was also losing more money. In a sense that every now and then when a new MMC or a city manager or executive director wants to say, my office is, I suspect, is packed, or something is happening in my office, coming. Now you have to employ a private company, you pay 35,000 to 40,000 rand every now and then. Then we say, but the city is losing a lot of money. This equipment, then we have an engagement with state security that it is this security that this device that you check whether there is any listening device, is there any bomb, now that the city can own. Now we ask state security to say, this you can have, this can have, this can have, this can have, and there are people they trained. Now we had that. Now those were the equipment procured. And then those equipment were not procured by myself. There's a committee that deals with finances. It must go through the process, even the city manager. But worst of all, the person who signed, I've got documentation, who signed for the procurement of those things is the wife of the city manager, who is the one who turns in turn and says, I procure spying equipment. And she's the one who procured and who signed. I've got. But
who suggested the purchase? Was it not you after that benchmarking exercise you referred?
I suggested. In my case, I'm building capacity for the city to be a world-class city. I copycat like what the DPCI has to say, we have this environment, now we need to make sure that we know what is happening. Every case that we have, we need to know that this case is not, we are not dealing with a syndicate or we are dealing with an individual case. That is the basis for which we had to procure such. It was just a crime-fighting machinery, nothing to do with spying. But of importance, the state security said there's no spying equipment. They keep on talking about the grabber. There was no grabber ever procured anywhere. And even now, there's no grabber, even in the paperwork.
What capabilities did the machinery have?
The state security is said is just, I wanted to use the exact word in the report, Chair, but what?
No, you say you recommended the purchase of the machinery. I'm asking you what the capabilities of the machinery were or are.
It was
that does not require the report.
Yeah, it was just a preventative measures to see that you are not being listened to, or you are not, or there is maybe others. It was cameras and video cameras. It's just a lot of equipment that we needed. But
for example, I'm thinking, why would CCTV cameras not have been sufficient? why this machinery? That's why I want to understand the special capabilities.
A CCTV camera, Chair, most of the CCTV cameras, you find that they've been disabled or they don't work. And then in your own office, as a city manager or as mayor or whoever, you won't have cameras all the time in your office, but you suspect that there are things planted in your office. But it was just a counter of such things and within the law. And the SSA even said it cannot even be repurposed to be a listening device or a spying equipment. So we were happy that we were cleared. Even the DPCI.
Perhaps, no, before you get to being cleared, I still want to understand how it worked in order for me to understand why you are saying it was not a spying device. How exactly would it assist you in curbing crime or stopping the commission of crime?
May the chair repeat the question? I heard what the chair is saying, but I was just trying to also think, in my mind, I was trying to see if I can get that SSA
you see what I'm trying to get at is, would you plant something in someone's office to be able to see who they meet with and for what purpose? Or what exactly, how exactly would this machinery assist you? Because if you would plant it in people's offices, then obviously it would be a spying device.
No, we're not planting anything in anybody's office.
What did you do with the machinery then? That's what I'm trying to understand. How did it work?
Chair, we are talking about the equipments that are within group forensics, that should the chair says, can you please come and sweep the where there's going to be a council meeting, and then they sweep the council meeting. Mostly we have to call SSA, or we could do it ourselves, because these are people who once worked at the SSA, who worked there as well, who were trained to use such equipment. So the capability was that they were all preventative measures, not spying devices. It's not something that can spy you.
So the equipment, to just follow on from what the chair posed to you, you're saying the equipment that was purchased was equipment that permitted you as the city, without outsourcing it to private companies, to do sweeps in order to check for interception devices. And that's the only type of equipment that was purchased.
I don't say that's the only type. There were a lot of equipment.
There was other equipment.
Yes, but
and
those
what equipment was that? You mentioned cameras, I thought. What type of cameras?
I need to be assisted to get to the list, to the state security reports, because I don't want...
Well, General, whilst you are being assisted, perhaps let's take the adjournment at this stage and resume at 11:20. Let's adjourn.
Thanks, Chair.